Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Brawlbots Series 3, the round of 32. That's right, we're still in the round of 32, but this is the third episode. We're past the halfway mark, and now, after this episode, we'll only have one more to go until round 2. But tonight, we have another group of 8 robots looking to get to round 2, and some very high seeds in this fight. In this episode, including the third seed who controls this quadrant, the third seed being Tsunami. Tsunami is a very powerful flipper, and we are going to be seeing them fight against the 30th seed of Rusty. Rusty is an axe bot who, well, they've been doing their best. They didn't get the easiest draw as they fought against Galaxy and Afterthought, and then they lost both of those fights, but they did get a win against the Three Musketeers, so they ended up going 1-2, which was enough to get them into the competition. So, let's see if they're able to pull off a massive upset against Tsunami, or if they will fall to the raging flipper of Tsunami. But then, of course, in our fight after that, the second fight of the night, we're going to be having the 14th seed of Tombstone take on the 19th seed of Black Rose. Tombstone, a very powerful horizontal spinner. Black Rose, a very powerful horizontal ring full body spinner. So, be interesting to see how those two fight against each other. As two very high-powered spinners going into the arena always leads to some chaos. But then, in our fourth fight of the night, we have the 11th seed of Barnacles taking on the 22nd seed of Fire Hazard. Fire Hazard is seeded much lower than Barnacles because they had a much easier strength of schedule. And Barnacles, well, they went 2-1 because Yin and Yang ended up actually getting an upset on them. So they could have actually went 3-0, but they missed out on that opportunity, though unfortunate for them. But in our fourth and final fight that we're going to have tonight, we have the 6th seed of Minotaur, who went a perfect 3-0, taking on the 27th seed of Big Nibbler, which is the former, I believe, the former 6th seed, which is a very big drop-off. They went from 6th to 27th. So, yeah. That's a pretty big difference in seeds, but who knows? Maybe Big Nibbler can prove that they deserve that 6th seed more than Minotaur does. But we'll have to find out, as that is our last fight of the night. So we have to start out with our first fight of the night, again, between the 3rd seed, who is controlling the quadrant, Tsunami, taking on the 30th seed of Rusty. Without further ado, let's get him into the arena. And there they both are. We have Tsunami in the blue square, of course, with their very powerful rear-hinged flipper. We've seen Tsunami do pretty well in competitions before the main one, but they went 3-0 for their first time in the main competition, which is very impressive. And they actually had a pretty difficult strength of schedule, so they got the 3rd seed as a result of it. And they're going to be facing off against Rusty, the 30th seed. If you took Tsunami's seed and added a 0 to it, well, you get Rusty. Rusty is an axe bot with a decently powerful one at that, who also has tracks but no wedge. So that could be a bit of a problem since they're fighting a flipper, but who knows, maybe Rusty will be able to just outlast Tsunami. We haven't really seen Tsunami's durability get put to the test before, so this could be a first. Then, of course, in the corner for our house robot, we have Galaga with their very powerful vertical spinner looking to tear apart anyone who enters its domain. So without further ado, let's get the first fight of the night and the first fight of the 3rd quadrant underway.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Well, here we go. The 3rd and 30th seed are now off, and Tsunami immediately getting underneath Rusty and flipping it across the arena. Rusty trying to self-right, and they do so. And now Tsunami getting around to the side of Rusty, missing that flip, then rolling Rusty over that time. Rusty is a pretty heavy bot. Tsunami getting a massive flip, and another one there. Rusty gets an axe shot. And now getting a second one on the top of Tsunami, seeming to leave Tsunami unfazed as Rusty thrown around again. Tsunami not letting up on their attack. They do need to be on top of their assault on Rusty. And now they have Rusty against the screws, and that's Rusty out of the arena from Tsunami. Well, Tsunami putting up a very dominant performance to be expected from the 3rd seed, so not very surprising to see them, well, completely obliterate the 30th seed of Rusty. Rusty, they tried their best, but they went 1-2 in the main season, with their only win being against an 0-3 bot. And Tsunami, on the other hand, went 3-0 and ended up getting the 3rd seed. So, congratulations to Tsunami for getting another win and moving on to the next round. Rusty, unfortunate to see them go, but hey, at least they made it into the tournament, so you know, that's a bit of a point there for them. But Tsunami, again, very dominant performance here, and looking to set a standard for what we will see from them in the future and the rest of the tournament, it seems.
Well, that fight could only be described as sheer domination. Tsunami put their wedge to good use and constantly got underneath Rusty, whether it was the side, which they constantly got to because of their superior speed. In fact, Tsunami is actually very fast and quick. Rusty, with those tracks, well, not abysmally slow, they also were not speedy. But Tsunami was able to exploit that and get around to their sides, along with just out-wedge the front. And Rusty constantly was being flipped over onto their side, their back, their face. They self-righted a couple times, but a lot of times they just didn't even get to self-right before they were being flipped again. And eventually Tsunami got them out of the arena, up and over the screws. And yeah, they put up another dominating fight, and they move on to round 2. So congratulations to the 3rd seed. They move on to round 2. So far, none of our top 4 seeds have been eliminated. So that is a good sign that we got it right. And Rusty, well, you tried, but unfortunately, seems like robots with wedges are your biggest nightmare. But anyway, now it's time for 2 robots that both do not have wedges. It is Black Rose, the very powerful and very much feared horizontal spinner, taking on Tombstone, the former champion and the former Glory robot looking to return to said Glory. And they have a chance. They did get the 14th seed, which is around the middle of the pack, so they could be a breakout robot. We'll just have to see. And once again, there they both are. We have Tombstone in the blue square with their very powerful horizontal spinner looking to completely dominate their opponent, which is a 3-pronged spinner, so could be an interesting match. Black Rose has fought the champion and lost, so interesting for them. They also fought against non-wedges, but I don't think they fought against another horizontal spinner, so interesting matchup we have here indeed. Without further ado, let's get it started.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
And here we go, the battle between the 2 most powerful horizontal spinners in this quadrant of the bracket has commenced, and Black Rose and Tombstone immediately up to speed and immediately getting some massive hits. Tombstone losing a lot of panels there. Black Rose now running into their panel and breaking off half of the screws. Oh no. That's not good at all. Black Rose, you're going to be charged for that. That is heavy damage to the screws, so those are going to be a lot more useless now. But Black Rose refusing to let up on their attack. Tombstone's blade actually momentarily stopping there. And now Black Rose back up to speed and now hitting Tombstone's side. And now going at Tombstone at the front again. Black Rose not afraid to go weapon to weapon. Tombstone meeting them head on as much as they can. But there Black Rose gets a shot on the side, and that is what Tombstone wants to avoid, as Tombstone actually goes for a shot on Black Rose. And now Black Rose gets a hit on the back of Tombstone, and Tombstone has very minimal armor back there, so Tombstone could be in trouble. And now Tombstone getting hit in the front again. Black Rose just not letting up, very relentless with their attack. They're very fast, but still remains to be seen if they're actually doing any damage. And Tombstone getting sent across the arena again. Black Rose now back up to full speed. Tombstone's blade seems to barely even slow down after it hits Black Rose. Black Rose, on the other hand, is much heavier, so every time it hits Tombstone, it sends itself flying into the wall, slowing it down even more, so usually it has to spin all the way back up. But now getting another hit onto Tombstone, sending it into Hydreigon's corner, who pushes it out of its little house there. And now Black Rose with a couple of good attacks on the side of Tombstone, and now Tombstone towards the corner, and Black Rose gets another good hit. And now Black Rose going back after Tombstone, who is not really moving all that much. And now Black Rose getting up to speed again, and now hitting Tombstone into the screws. And now Black Rose in Hydreigon's corner. Hydreigon failing to do anything. And now Black Rose has Tombstone all the way in the corner, and the Pulverizer looms above Tombstone. That could cause some potential internal damage, although Black Rose, with those spinner shots, my goodness, could already be doing that, as Tombstone has not moved for a long time, or at least made a great deal of movement in a long time. And now Tombstone finally escapes the corner, and now Black Rose chasing it down yet again, back up to full speed, and now going after Tombstone at the front, and meeting them head on again and again, and Black Rose seems to have taken almost no damage so far. Tombstone, on the other hand, has taken some, but nothing super major, it seems. So Tombstone probably going to make it the 3 minutes. Black Rose also, as there's 10 seconds left. So that means this will be going to a judge's decision, as Tombstone actually getting a couple of last-minute shots in on Black Rose. And now Black Rose getting one final massive hit on the back of Tombstone. And their top drive pod actually gets ripped off by, I think, their own spinner power, because Tombstone didn't touch it. So Tombstone and Black Rose, surprisingly, two of the most powerful horizontal spinners in the tournament, going the full 3 minutes against each other. It seems like neither one could cause lethal damage to the other. So congratulations to both Black Rose and Tombstone for making it this far. It goes to the judges, so it's going to be an interesting judges' decision between the 19th and the 14th seeds, respectively. A very close fight. Wouldn't want to be a judge for this one.
Well, what a match. It was definitely chaotic. Tombstone actually had a bit of time where it was in the corner and it didn't seem to be moving, but it seemed to get back up and running, and it was able to continue the fight and get it all the way to 3 minutes. Black Rose put on a hell of a show, bouncing from every single possible wall, and a very interesting fight indeed. And again, like I said before, it went to the judges, who have made their decision. And let's break down the categories, because this is a very close fight, very interesting fight. So, effectiveness is the closest category, and it goes 3-2 to Black Rose. Black Rose just seemed to be a little bit more effective with their spinner. They did a bit more damage. And Tombstone, well, they tried, but a lot of times they ended up getting hit on spots beside their spinner. So that lost them some effectiveness points because their spinner wasn't hitting back. So Black Rose ends up eking out that category. Then, Control. Your winner on a score of 4-1. A very interesting score indeed. But your winner is your winner is Tombstone, 4-1. So a very impressive scoring there, which means Black Rose has to have gotten 4-1 in aggression in order to have won this fight. Tombstone ended up being just way more controlled, though Black Rose, every time they hit Tombstone, they were sent flying around the arena, and even a couple times they nearly sent themselves out of the arena, and that cost them a lot of control points. But your winner on aggression is Black Rose, but it is 4-1, meaning Black Rose does indeed win over Tombstone. And Tombstone, they put up a good fight, but they ended up dying halfway through the fight, and that ended up costing them a lot of aggression points. So that means that your winner is Black Rose. So congratulations to Black Rose for getting the technical upset, as Tombstone was 5 seeds higher than them. But Black Rose moves on to round 2, and they're actually going to be fighting the 3rd seed of Tsunami, so a very interesting fight indeed, but that is for round 2. Tombstone, unfortunately, goes out. They did end up redeeming themselves in their fight against Fire Hazard, but it wasn't, but that was the past, and, they ended up losing now. So, unfortunate to see Tombstone go out in round 1, but they do. But now it's time for our 3rd fight of the night, which has previously mentioned Fire Hazard taking on Barnacles. So a very interesting fight indeed. A very powerful spinner taking on a flipper. This will be a very interesting match, as Fire Hazard is the lower seed. However, Barnacles can't self-right. So, one wrong move, and they could be out of it. So, without further ado, let's get them into the arena. And back into the arena we go, and here we have the two combatants again. We have Barnacles with their very powerful egg beater spinner and very low to the ground rear hinged wedge, which could be a bit of a problem for Fire Hazard in the red square with their powerful flipper and their fading paint job. Gotta really redo that, guys. But Barnacles not able to self-right, so this could be a bit of an issue for them. In fact, that's why they ended up losing to Yin and Yang. However, Hydreigon is not the house robot in here this time. It is Galaga. However, Galaga has been able to flip other robots over with strong enough hits. So, could they do it again? Who knows? Fire Hazard might just do it anyway. We'll have to find out.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Well, here we go. Barnacles actually leading with that rear wedge and getting underneath Fire Hazard, and Fire Hazard not really able to do much. And Barnacles turns around with the spinner, and Barnacles thrown halfway across the arena and flipped onto their back. Oh no, Barnacles, they're trying. I mean, there isn't much they can do once they've been flipped over. They're kind of dead in the water, as Barnacles now being pushed along by Fire Hazard, who tries to flip it out of the arena and actually messes it up and flips it back over. Barnacles now charging back over at Fire Hazard and just flipped out of the arena from there. Fire Hazard, the 22nd seed, getting the technical upset over Barnacles, who is the 11th seed. So, seed-wise, yeah, that is a major upset. But Barnacles is a spinner and spinner killer that cannot self-right. Fire Hazard is a flipper, so to be expected.
Well, unfortunate to see a former top 5 seed go out, but Barnacles, well, you kind of need to add a Shreemac, my friend, as it's really not working for you anymore without one. There's so many flippers in the field now that without one you're kind of screwed. In fact, we've even seen again against non-flippers you might even lose because you get flipped over somehow anyway. But Barnacles, they put up a good fight. They ended up going 2-1, and they ended up beating the odds. In their fight against Hypershock, they ended up winning when I'm pretty sure everyone was betting against them to lose, and it prevented Hypershock from going 3-0. So, very interesting indeed. But, unfortunately, Barnacles is out, and Fire Hazard moves on. So, congratulations to them. The 22nd seed moves on above the higher seed. So, congrats to Fire Hazard for proving us all wrong and potentially showing us that their fights where they had easy wins were actually justified. But who knows, we'll have to see as we go deeper into the tournament. For now, it's time for our 4th fight of the night between Minotaur, the current 6th seed, taking on Big Nibbler, the former 6th seed. Who is going to be taking home the win? Well, we'll have to find out. Will it be the Brazilian drum spinner, or will it be the UK Swiss Army bot? Let's find out. And for the final time tonight, here we are in the arena. We have Minotaur in the blue square, the 6th seed, with their very powerful drum spinner, looking to prove themselves once again. They went 3-0, however, they did have a pretty easy strength of schedule. That's why they're not seeded higher. Then, of course, we have Big Nibbler, who is seeded 27th, I believe. They are the former 6th seed, but they ended up doing pretty poorly in this season. Their only win was against Duck, I believe, so not very good for them. Big Nibbler looking to prove themselves here against the 6th seed, who you could say stole the 6th seed from Big Nibbler, but we'll have to see. It's a battle for honor in this fight, so without further ado, let's get it started.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Well, the battle between the 6th seed and the former 6th seed is now underway. Minotaur immediately taking some damage, and Big Nibbler is actually on the attack right now. They have Minotaur pinned against the wall, and now Minotaur shoving back and now ramming into Big Nibbler and actually breaking off both of their forks, and a massive hit from Minotaur, and now Big Nibbler nearly flipped over from Minotaur, and Minotaur now ramming into it and flipping it over. A massive hit, and Hydreigon pushes Big Nibbler away from its corner, as now Minotaur going after Big Nibbler and ripping off the entire spinner and lifter mechanism from the body of Big Nibbler. Oh no. Well, Minotaur proves that they are the superior 6th seed against Big Nibbler, who has just been ripped apart. My goodness, that is a grisly sight. Minotaur, again, showing why they went 3-0. Moving on to the next round as the 6th seed, so very impressive performance from them here. Big Nibbler, well, they tried, but it was a very short fight, so not a whole lot they ended up doing, because they got about one good attack before the Brazilian Bull just completely rained down on Big Nibbler. Your winner is the 6th seed and Minotaur, continuing their unbeaten streak.
Well, a very short and utter domination from Minotaur, the 6th seed, completely demolishing Big Nibbler. They ripped off the forks, they threw Big Nibbler all around the arena, and then eventually put them into a corner and ripped off Big Nibbler's entire face, and neck, and spinal cord, and pretty much everything. Just a Mortal Kombat finisher, basically. But Minotaur put up a very good performance here, proving that they definitely deserve to be the 6th seed, and they are moving on to face off against Fire Hazard. So, very interesting fight that we have indeed for round 2. But that will come in round 2, and that is all for this episode. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff, and yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. But until the next episode or next video, goodbye.